What's going on, guys? I'm back with a new video. In this video I'm gonna talk about my old formula and my new formula. So let's get started. Now it's gonna vary from my formula to your formula, the way you prepare your bottles and the way I'm doing it. Now it's up to you guys. If you guys want to do what I'm doing, so far it's been working for me. It may work for you. You may have to adjust it, maybe add more teaspoons, maybe stay with the old formula I was using before. But let's get started, guys, and then hopefully this video is helpful. Like I said, I'll try to answer some questions, but I'll give my best on answering. Maybe we could help each other out down at the comments below. Help each other if I don't respond fast enough. But let's get started. We all use baby shampoo. Now this one is still good. It's a little cheaper than Johnson & Johnson, but you guys can use it. This one and Johnson & Johnson maybe won't be a big difference, just price wise. And then you got Dawn, same thing. Whichever ones you guys want to use. I did use Joy. I used Dawn. I used baby shampoo. I'll explain it why I use Dawn and baby shampoo or Joy. So there's 3 different ones. Try not to stick to just one brand or one solution, I would say. But for example, baby shampoo for me is on the low. It's more slippery. Dawn is already on the high because it starts tagging right away. Now for Joy was like a medium high. I could squeegee it, still shift it, move it a little bit. Second squeegee, third squeegee, it'll start tacking. Baby shampoo, move it, super slippery. You tack it one time with your squeegee, still gonna move. So you have to either heat up the window from the outside or cut down a little bit of that formula, or maybe 1 teaspoon's too much, maybe go half a teaspoon. But so let's get going. For my new form, okay, let's talk about my old formula. So for my 48-ounce spray bottle, for my 32-ounce spray bottle, and then my it's a 2-gallon tank sprayer. 48-ounce, I used to use 2 teaspoons, or 2 teaspoons, 10 milliliters. Now I actually use 3 teaspoons, which is 15 milliliters on this spray tank. For my 32-ounce, I used to use 1 teaspoon, which is 5 milliliters, but now I'm actually bumping it up to 2 teaspoons because I'm doing bottom loading. So I prefer to be slippery. I'm able to adjust it, do a couple squeegees, it's still gonna move, but it's all gonna vary, and I'll let you guys know. So for my 1 gallon, I do use 4 teaspoons, which is 20 milliliters. It's up to you guys, but for me it seems that it works. It's enough slip, it's enough to get 2 cars, 3 cars, depending how heavy you go on the water, and depending on if you're doing a full car. If I'm doing 3 cars, 1 gallon should be enough. That's except windshield, just all depends. Or maybe an SUV, it may cut you down 2 cars. But for me, 1 gallon is 4 teaspoons, which is 20 milliliters of solution baby shampoo. So that's one thing. So now let's go back to baby shampoo. It's super slippery. That's why a lot of tinters use it, because it's like the cheapest one. It's the safest one for the film. You could use it. We know it's not gonna happen. Now the only downside that I've seen about baby shampoo is that the moisture stays a little bit longer. For example, Dawn, it stays a little bit less, so that's why it starts tacking right away. For baby shampoo, it's slippery and the film slides everywhere, and it stays it doesn't dry. It doesn't start curing a lot faster than using any dish soap for solution. So that's one thing. So it's up to you guys if you guys want to try that out. But like I said, for a 32 ounce, and this is baby shampoo, I'm going 2 teaspoons now. So that is 10 milliliters on my 32 spray bottles. My 48, I'm going 3 teaspoons, which is 15 milliliters of baby shampoo. And for my 1 gallon, I'm doing 20 milliliters, 4 teaspoons for a whole 1 gallon of water. Now just make sure you mix it. Don't just throw it in there and then start using it. Now try to shake it, shake the bottles. What I do is I put my 1 gallon, 4 teaspoons. I get the spray, the spray nozzle, and then just kind of stick it in there, get it mixed up. But that's one thing with my spray tank, with my tank sprayer. Now the other thing that I mentioned, it just depends. Now let's say it may be hot during summer. It may get hotter where you guys are from. From us, from here in Cali, it probably gets up to like 90, 95, maybe the high is 100. Now if you're going kind of away from the LA area, it may get hotter, maybe 105, 110. Barstow, in that area, it gets pretty hot. You may need to bump it up a little bit more, maybe 3 teaspoons on your 32 ounce to have enough slip for you to work on the windows. So maybe you're doing it outside, maybe you're doing mobile services. You may want to have a little bit more slip and not have enough, because once it starts tacking and you have to readjust it, you try to peel it back, you're on the high risk of getting contaminations. So we don't want that. Better be slippery than not have enough time to shift it or readjust it. So that's something. Now maybe it may be too cold. Like right now, it's a little cold in the morning. We still get sun here and there. It's winter. I still use 2 teaspoons. I still use three teaspoons for my 48 ounce. And that's me using baby shampoo. Now, if we move on to Dawn, to dish soap, I'm still going with my old formula. 2 teaspoons, 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon. And for my 1 gallon, I believe I was doing 2 teaspoons, which is 10 milliliters, or 3 teaspoons, because it's cold. Now, it's gonna get cold, less heat. The window's gonna take a little bit longer to cure. Now, you may wanna adjust your formula during cold season, because it's gonna be cold. Now, for this one, for Dawn, I usually use Dawn and Joy for commercial and residential jobs, especially because the house won't move like a car. So let's say the car, you park in one side, it's gonna get sun on one side, the next day the sun will hit the other side. And a house, if a house is facing the south windows are facing the sun, the north side of the house is gonna be on the shade. Now, for me, Dawn, I still use Dawn 1 teaspoon or 5 millimeters, 5 millimeters on my 32 ounce, and 2 teaspoons on my 48 ounce. I still use this one. It's mostly for small jobs, maybe 2 sliding doors. I'll take this one when it's a bunch of windows or a full house or a commercial. I take my tank sprayer. For example, maybe the house, even though it's winter, maybe the house is hitting the sun. It could be south, east, west, whichever side of the house is facing. I'll switch it up to baby shampoo, because if I use Dawn, it's gonna start curing too fast because the sun's hitting it. I won't have enough slip, enough movement for me to move my film on the window, and that's the worst case. If you try to peel it back, maybe some adhesive is gonna stay behind. You squeegee and then you see it. You don't want that. So I'll have an extra bottle of baby shampoo, because I know that side is facing the sun. I'm gonna try to do it in a hurry, but of course do quality work, but try not let the film cure right away. It's gonna be a little bit more moisture on it. I like Dawn for commercial and residential because moisture wise it goes by fast. It starts curing right away. That's why I said this one's like more on the high, medium high, because it starts tacking. The more passes you do, the more moisture you take off from the window and the film, so it starts curing a lot faster. When it comes to baby shampoo, it's slippery. Moisture stays trapped for a couple days, and it's more of how long the car's gonna be in the sun, how long the sun's gonna be hitting it. Maybe throughout the whole day. If the sun's hitting the car, it may be 3 days, it may be 4 days for all that to go away. But majority of the time with baby shampoo, you're gonna have more moisture than Dawn soap. So that's my go-to, or Joy, or any dish soap. Now some of you guys are kind of afraid to use Dawn because it's a degreaser, but let's be honest, there's tinters that have been doing this for years. Some of them use Dawn, and let's not forget it's a degreaser and the film is adhesive, so it doesn't really affect it. It actually makes it cure a little bit faster depending how much Dawn soap you're using. Now let's say on my 32 ounce bottle I put 4 teaspoons, which is 20 milliliters. That's a lot of soap. Now it's gonna take longer to cure. It may not cure within 3 days, 4 days, and they lower the window. It may affect the adhesive because that's too much soap. Now that's why I said I still stick to 1 teaspoon when it comes to Dawn. It's slippery, but once I do my first pass with my squeegee, it starts tacking right away. Baby shampoo, do my first pass, it's still sliding left and right, up and down. So baby shampoo, 2 teaspoons on my 32 ounce. Give it a try. Maybe that's gonna work for you guys. If you have a pump sprayer, bump it up to 3 teaspoons. It may be slippery enough. Maybe it's too slippery. Cut it down to 2 teaspoons or maybe 1 teaspoon. For a 1 gallon, like I mentioned, 4 teaspoons, 20 milliliters of baby shampoo or Dawn. So give that a try. If you're starting, I would say do 1 teaspoon on your 32 ounce and then go from there. But because I'm doing bottom loading right now, is my go-to formula, because it's something I've been doing it for a while. My old formula was not working. It was tacking everywhere. I was getting frustrated. Bumped it up to 2 teaspoons and it started working perfect. I got enough time to slide it, readjust it. No more of that, oh, I gotta peel it back, and then running the risk of getting contamination. With that new formula, I still use my bottles, by the way. Still use them. That's either here in the garage, maybe doing 2 windows, doing mobile for houses, and cars. I still use them. Try to use them. The other thing is that don't leave any solutions or any type of soap in there, because then it gets like gooey, and then if you have a filter, it's gonna get clogged. So that's why fill them up. I use 2 bottles. Once runs out, I'll get the other one. So I kind of managed to see if I'm gonna use both bottles or maybe 1 bottle. If I'm doing 2 windows, 1 bottle should be enough. If I'm doing the whole car, 1 bottle and a half would be enough. So why am I gonna put just half, fill up the bottle halfway when I could do 2 bottles how I'm ready? But it just depends how heavy you go on the water. So if you're barely starting off, use the 32 ounce, give it a try. 10 millimeters of any slip solution, 15 milliliters of my 48 ounce spray pump. Give that a try. Hopefully that works for you guys. But when it comes to my new formula, that's it. It's been working for me. Give that a try. I know I believe a couple people asked me for how Joy works, and Joy was like on the medium height. It was slippery when you needed it, but once you do your first squeegee, second squeegee, third pass, it starts tagging to the window. And then I would kind of get frustrated. Now with baby shampoo and the new formula, give it a try. All right, let's go. Now, second question. Should I use Elmer's glue? Now, you guys didn't know, you guys can use Elmer's glue around any car that has dot matrix around the glass, around the border, but it just depends on if you have access to it. I mean, if it's a spot where you can't reach, don't use it. Majority of the times, I only use it on the front windshields of, for example, Honda Accords. They have the dot matrix. And then when you're using it, you don't have to use a lot, because then it gets messy. So it's kind of a challenge when you do it, but it's also a good outcome once you're done. Now, the Elmer's glue is more for looks. It's nothing's gonna change. It's gonna go back to silver or like that grayish look around the dot matrix, around the front windshield. It does last maybe roughly 6-8 months up to a year, and then it goes back to that silver grayish look around the dot matrix. Now, I personally don't really use it. I communicate with the customer, owner of the car. I let them know, hey, you got dot matrix. It's gonna look a little weird. It doesn't affect the film. It's not gonna peel off. It's not gonna bubble up because of that. But it's just the windshield or the back window, how the car is. That way they know what the outcome's gonna come out once the car's done. And they don't have to ask you with, hey, my car looks like this around the dots. But if you kind of explain it before you tint the car, they'll get an idea of like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, dude. We'll see how it looks at the end. Some people may like it, some people may not like it, but there's really not much you could do. The only things you could do is sand it. Once you start sanding, you may run the risk of having more contamination because you're sanding part of that dot matrix. Not sure what it is. Probably like the defroster lines, like kind of the same thing. you're adding yourself more work by sanding that. Now, I personally don't do that. I always be upfront with the customer, with the owner of the car. Let them know, hey, this is gonna look. Are you okay with that? Some people may say, oh, is there something we could do about it? I always hit them with the yes. I only could do this top, or I could do this side of the windows, because they have that matrix. Like for example, BMW frameless windows, and other cars that have frameless, they have a dot matrix around the edge of the window. You could give that a try, but I always tell them it's gonna look good for a couple months. Are you okay with that? Some people say, hey, yeah, let's do it. Once the sun starts beating on the windshield or the back window, it goes back to normal. Months from now, owner of the car is gonna forget about it. He's not even gonna remember how it looked. Or maybe they will, but once you kind of told them, hey, this is gonna look after 6 months or after a year, as long as you let the customer, owner of the car know, kind of let them know how the car's gonna look, you should be okay with it. And if you get those guys that says, can we make it look a little better, go ahead and give it a try. Bought this one from Hobby Lobby, but you get them a little bit cheaper at Walmart. But that's Elmer's glue. If you guys have any questions, if should you give it a try, should I not use it, should you even use it if it's gonna turn back to that silver color once it dries out. It's up to you guys. If I personally just have it just in case there's a customer that wants to make the car look a little bit better, give that a try.